Alright. So let's start with the bracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hashem natan Torah. Amen.
Amen.
Alright, guys. These last three chapters of Judges, for those of you who have been through it already, realize this is kind of rough. So if you are on live feed, PG rating for the first chapter, send your children out, do whatever you need to do. Yeah. Alright. So this is not obviously one of my happy portions. We are dealing with the end of the book, and if you remember the framework that we went into, it's just kind of been looking at the gradual decline of the nation of Israel. Everything's been falling to pieces. We've got one-man judges. We've got guys not going into the inheritance. They're losing inheritance. They're losing each other. They're losing God. They're doing everything in accordance with what their own wants are. Levites are getting confused. And here we get to see the complete degradation of a specific tribe, to the point where you'll see they act like a previous story, okay, but actually worse than the previous stories. Alright, so if you won't mind, I find it very difficult to read these parts. As I go through them, I won't elaborate too much. Really, because makes me sad. Right. So we're going to Judges chapter 19. In those days, when there was no king in Israel, there was a certain Levi living on the far side of the Ephraim hills. He took a woman from Bethlehem in Yehuda to be his concubine. Okay, what's a concubine? Like a wife. Okay, she doesn't have as, let's say, same rights almost, without saying that. Okay, so think of Hagar. Okay, so Sarah was seen as the wife, she was lifted up as the wife, but Hagar was someone who gave birth to a child. That's it. So she still was supposed to fulfill her duties as a servant, but she didn't exactly act like someone who was loved. In the right aspects of this, you should treat her the same, but obviously, as we saw with Rachel and Leah, it's very difficult. Okay? You know, you're going to love one more than you love the other in different cases. We kind of see this. This is not a foreign thing to biblical text. It is kind of cultural in many cases. Why would I take a concubine? Scripturally. Right. Probably to bear children. Okay. Maybe my wife could only have one. Maybe she could marry. So I would then take a concubine to expand the house. Remember in the times of Solomon, your harem, and can anybody remember more or less how many wives and concubines he had? Solomon, yeah. Yeah, so he tallied up at 1,000 ladies he had to keep entertained and happy and all the rest of it. But in that time, the bigger the harem, the more influence you had, the more powerful you were as a king. So from a worldly perspective, and we knew that Solomon married and intermarried for many trade alliances and such things, he did it for political reasons. Okay? And for, status. Okay, so we see this, we see a Levi taking on a concubine. But his concubine was unfaithful to him and left him to go to her father's house at Bethlehem in Yehuda, where she stayed there for some time, 4 months. So she leaves him, she deserts him because she's unfaithful. right? Great start. Married to a Levite, who's supposed to represent God. And remember, the marriages are supposed to represent the Sinai covenant, right? That Sinai covenant is, and your Shabbat is supposed to represent your betrothal. And if you, as a Levite, are reflecting God, is this the type of marriage you want reflecting? No. So we've got all types of things breaking here. So she leaves him. Sounds like she was unfaithful to him. Then she ducks. And she goes and stays back at her father's house. He goes back. Then her husband went after her to persuade her to return. After 4 months, he decides, no, I'm not just going to put her away, I'm going to take her back. Okay? This sounds interesting. Let's see what happens. He had his servant with him and a pair of donkeys. She brought him into her father's house, and when the girl's father saw him, he was glad to meet him. His father-in-law, the girl's father, kept him there, so he remained with him 3 days. Okay, so which territory are we talking about now? They went to where? Bethlehem. Bethlehem, in whose territory? In Judah. Okay, so we've already got the framework of some hospitality issues here, and that's going to come up. So in Judah, in Bethlehem, even though his daughter has done wrong, he welcomes him, he feeds him, he looks after him for 3 days. They ate and they drank and they stayed there. On the 4th day, they got up early in the morning and he prepared to leave. But the girl's father said to his son-in-law, you'll feel better if you have a bit of food before you leave. So the two of them sat down and they ate and drank together. Then the girl's father said to the man, please stay one more night and have a good time. The man rose to leave, but his father-in-law pressed him. So he stayed there again. The morning on the 5th day, he got up early to leave, but the girl's father said, why don't you have something to eat and leave this afternoon? So the two men ate. When the man got up to leave with his concubine and his servant, his father-in-law, the girl's father, said to him, look, it's almost evening, please stay the night. You see that it's getting late. Stay out, enjoy yourself, and tomorrow get going early and on your way home. But the man wouldn't stay that night, so he got up and left with his concubine and his 2 saddled donkeys, and they arrived at Jebus, or Yehuz, also known as Jerusalem. Okay, so the city of Jebus, Jerusalem, good place, bad place, happy place? Who controlled it? The Jebusites, right? Right? How do we know that?
Judges Joshua, when they went, they didn't conquer.
Who conquered the city of Jebus? David.
Yeah,
Okay, David's not around yet, okay? So they think it's a pagan city. So it says by the time they arrived at Jebus, it was nearly evening, and the servant said to his master, why don't we go into the city of the Yebus and stay there? And stay there? But his master said to him, we won't go into a city of foreigners. That doesn't belong to the people of Israel. We'll go on to Gibeah or Gibeah. He said to his servant, let's go and we'll get to one of those places. We'll stay at Gibeah or Ramah. So they went on and kept traveling until the sun set on near Gibeah, which belongs to Benjamin. Okay, so now we've got 2 different regions. We were in Judah, everything was fine. Now we're going to Benjamin. There they turned off the road to go and stay at Gibeah. He went in and sat down in the city's open space, into the city square. Since no one had offered his home for them to spend the night. Hospitality problem. On the one side, stay, eat, no man, stay. 5 days, no problem to this man. Here, they're sitting in the square, waiting for people to welcome them. See what happens. In time at nightfall, an old man came from his work in the field. He was from the Ephraim hills, and he was staying in Gibeah. Although the residents were of Benjamin, so he's not from there. The old man looked up, saw the traveler in the city's open space, and said, where are you going and where are you coming from? He replied, we're crossing from Bethlehem in Yehuda to the far side of the Ephraim hills. That's where I'm from. I went to Bethlehem in Yehuda, and I'm going to the house of Adonai, but there's no one who will let me spend the night in his home. So we have inhospitality again. That should immediately send you back to another story. Which story are we talking about? Sodom and Gomorrah. Right? We have straw and food for our donkeys, also bread and wine for me, my concubine and the boy there with your servant. We don't need anything else. The old man said, you're welcome to stay with me. I'll take care of everything you like. Just don't spend the night out in the open. Who does that sound like? Lot. So Lot comes in and he says, this is not a good place for you. Get into my house. This is what will happen. This old man, same story. So we brought him home. We gave food to the donkeys. There they washed their feet and he ate them. They were relaxing when suddenly some men from the city, good for nothing, surrounded the house and began beating on the door. Send out the man who came home with you, they demanded of the old man whose house it was. We want to, well, in your translations it might say be intimate with him. Yes?
No.
Want to know him. And mine's a little bit more straight to the point. Okay? The man whose house it was went out and said to them, no, my brothers, please don't do anything as wrong as this. Look, he is my guest in my house. Don't do this degrading thing. Here's my daughter who's a virgin and his concubine. Okay, so he's thinking, well, if this worked for Lot, maybe it'll work for me. Right? Why did Lot do that? Remember the story? Lot says, here's my daughters. How many of you, that would be the daughter, say, Dad? It's not going to happen. Why did he do that?
To prevent him from being
He was wealthy and they knew that they shouldn't touch him, he's untouchable.
Right. They wouldn't have touched his daughter because Lot had wealth. The problem is, you're staying in the square, you're not bringing anything, you're not hiring anything, you're bringing no commerce in here. You are good for nothing and we will treat you as such. So if you bring nothing, what we do is we sodomize you and we throw you out there and we will tell all the other good for nothings, you don't come here unless you got money. You don't come here begging. You don't come here looking for freebies. That was the backdrop to Sodom and Gomorrah. They welcomed Lot just fine. Nothing ever happened to him and his daughters, purely because he had money. Same sort of backdrop here. Hospitality in the Middle East is a big thing. If you're inhospitable, Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed because of the inhospitality. And here we have it again. Don't do this degrading thing. Send out the daughter. No, it's not really your daughter. He says, yes, my daughter who's a virgin and a concubine. I'll bring them out. Mistreat them. Do what you want to them. But don't do such a degrading thing to this man. What's interesting about the story is we're talking about a Levite.
Yes.
I want to do those things to a Levite. So weren't you supposed to take care of them and look after them and give them food and tithe and all those things and look after them so they can take care of them?
Yeah.
Is this not the person that's supposed to help you deal with your sin? No respect for God, no respect for persons, no respect for anything. However, the men wouldn't listen to him, so the man took hold of his concubine. Please stop. The man took hold of his concubine and brought her out. Do you think he was happy that she probably was unfaithful to him? Well, this is your bag, baby. Don't you like doing this stuff? Good.
Yeah.
You must like to sleep around. What's the difference? Me, I'm a Levite. I don't do these things. You, we know.
But you shouldn't say that anyway.
He brought her up to them. Now, this is the PG podcast, please. This is difficult for me.
Yeah.
They raped her and they used her all night long. Only at dawn did they let her go. At daybreak, the woman came and fell down at the door in the man's house where her husband was, and she was still there when it grew light. He wasn't looking for her, he wasn't watching her, he wasn't sticking his head out trying to help her. When her husband got up, he opened up the doors of the house, and went out to go on his way. He saw the woman lying there with her hands stretched out towards the door. He said to her, "Get up, let's go." But there was no answer. So he loaded her body onto the donkey and began his trip home. There's no tearing of garments. There's nothing. She despised him. He showed her no thanks. On arrival at the house, he got his knife. Now this is where it just gets worse. He got his knife, took hold of his concubine's body, cut her up into 12 pieces, and sent them to all the regions of Israel. Now where the heck did this brother get this idea? The only thing we can kind of see is that Saul cut up a pair of cattle. And he said, "If you don't come out and assemble to war, I'm going to make you like this cattle." And people were nervous and they came out. 1 Samuel 11. He decides, "I'm going to send a stronger message." So he didn't love her in life, he didn't love her in death either.
But he sent it to all the tribes, isn't it?
As a symbol.
Yeah.
But here we sit with this brokenness. Everyone saw it and said, "Well, that's a parcel you probably don't want to wake up looking, hey, there's a pretty picture from a Levite. Open up a box and this is what you find." The day the people of Israel came out from Egypt until now, never has such a thing happened or been seen. What are we going to do about it? Talk it over and decide. Never in Israel since the time of Pesach has it been this bad. This is the complete brokenness of the cycle of Judges. People have forgotten everything about God, about marriage, about life. All the people of Israel came out from Dan to Beersheba, including the Giladi, the community assembled with one accord before Adonai at Mitzvah. It amazes me that it takes something so broken to get their attention. The leaders of all the tribes of Israel presented themselves in the assembly of the people of God, 400,000 foot soldiers armed with swords. Now the people of Benjamin heard the people of Israel had gone up to Mitzvah. The people of Israel said, "Tell us, how was this crime committed?" The Levi, the husband, I say that with hyphens, of the murdered woman answered, "I came to give her, which belonged to Benjamin. I and my concubine to stay the night, and the men of people attacked me, surrounded the house I was staying in at night. They wanted to kill me." That's not what they said. So to make it seem worse, because they probably realized that you coward, you actually said to her, "But they wanted to kill me, but instead they raped my concubine to death. I took my concubine's body, cut it up into pieces, and sent them throughout all the territories belonging to Israel, because they committed a shockingly obscene and degrading crime in Israel. Look, you are all people of Israel, so discuss what to do and give your advice here and now." He covers up his story, he covers up his own skin, so that he then can get vengeance. It's probably shame for him, he was probably really nervous. If she wasn't there, it probably would have been him. All the people stood in agreement and said, "None of us will go home till this tent or his house." Now please pause there for a second. Really? No one will go home? When did we see that up above? He was staying on the other side of Jordan. Okay, so we have 2.5 tribes sitting on the other side. They said, "We will not settle until everyone receives their inheritance." But 2 chapters ago we were talking about Dan going up to Dan to receive an inheritance because it was easy. They never took their inheritance. Now they make the vow that no one will go home. Why were they fighting for their brothers? Now they want to fight not against the Philistine, they want to fight against their own. So what we're building up to is, for the first time, civil war. Israel fighting Israel. Brother against brother. What will we do now to Gibeon in this? We'll draw lots and take 10 men of each 100 throughout all the tribes of Israel, and 100 out of 1,000 and 1,000 out of 10,000 to collect food for all the others. When these come to Gibeon in Benjamin, they will avenge the crime that was committed. Thus all the men of Israel joined together in complete agreement, assembled to attack the city. The tribes of Israel sent men throughout all the tribe of Benjamin with this message. What is this crime committed by some of your people? Turn over these good-for-nothings who are in Gibeon at once, so that we can execute them and rid Israel of such evil. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. Samson loses his nut, avenges against the Philistine. An army comes out and they say to Judah, give us Samson or we go to war. What does Judah do? They go and fetch a Samson and they go, thank you very much, you can have a baba. Listen to what Benjamin does. But the people of Benjamin refused to obey the order of their kinsmen, the people of Israel. They won't go to war against the Philistines, but they'll go to war to protect people who committed this heinous act. You're protecting the perpetrators. You're saying we will stand with them and fight alongside them. Where's God in this? They have no idea what he stands for and what he did and what their forefathers did to get them into this land. Instead, the people of Benjamin gathered themselves together from their cities and went to Gibeon to fight the people of Israel. On that day, there were 26,000 men from Benjamin, armed with swords, besides the inhabitants of Gibeon, who numbered 700 specially chosen men. All of these 700 specially picked men were left-handed, and everyone could sling a stone at a hair and not miss. So, we have the elite of the elite coming out of the place that committed this act. Do you think they're scared? Do you think they feared the repercussions from their brothers in any way, shape, or form? No. This is like David taking on Saul's entire army with his band of guys. He could have done it. He had better trained men. He never did. And what do we find? He said, right, we will use the best of our best against our brothers instead of dealing with the crime. The army of Israel, apart from Benjamin, numbered 400,000 men with swords. They were all experienced soldiers. The army of Israel began to go to Bethel, where they asked God. Now remember, the golden coffin that has not been set up here, that happens much later. This is where the ark was at the time. Who should go up first to attack the army of Benjamin? Adonai said, Judah first. Now let's stop there for a second. The question being asked, who should go up first? What is the question that probably should have been asked?
Should we go?
Should we go up against our brethren? They were already geared for war. There's no turning back. So the army of Israel got up in the morning and set up their camp near Gibeon. When the army of Israel went out to attack Benjamin, they set up their battle line in front of Gibeon. But the army of Benjamin came out at Gibeon and slaughtered the army of Israel. On that day, 22,000 fell. Okay, hang on a second. We're going up against the enemy. They're wrong. We know they're wrong. And we get whacked. 22,000 die. The people of the men of Israel restored their morale and again positioned themselves for a battle where they had been the first day. Then the army of Israel went up and they cried before Adonai until evening. They asked Adonai, should we attack our kinsmen, the people of Benjamin, again? Oh, the questions kind of changed. Did you hear? Adonai answered, attack them. So the army of Israel went out to attack the army of Benjamin the second day. But Benjamin went out against them from Gibeah, and second day he slaughtered the army of Israel. 18,000 men armed with swords fell. Now hang on a second. We just lost 40,000 men and God told us to go twice. Any of you feeling demoralized? Right. We're not even there. Then the whole army of Israel and all the people went up to Bethel. You notice, now it's getting a collective going up. A collective is crying out to the Lord. Where does that sound like? What happened when they got beaten by Ai? Joshua and the whole house of Israel mourned the death of the few men that died. And they all cried out, and they sorted out their camp before they went out. It's only pockets of people controlling it. They cried and they sat there in the presence of Adonai. They fasted that day until evening, offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. Okay, now we're getting something. To Adonai, and asked Adonai what to do. Oh, okay. Now we want to know whether it's okay to do whatever. How about lead us? The Ark of the Covenant of God was there at that time, and Pinchas, the son of Eleazar, he's got a good track record, yes?
Yes.
Pinchas doesn't mind going up against other people to go ask questions with a spear in his hand. The son of Aaron stood before him at that time. They asked, should we go out to battle against our kinsmen, the people of Benjamin, or should we stop? Adonai answered, attack, because tomorrow I will hand him over to you. What was Benjamin's and I? What was their downfall here? Besides the fact that they were just plain dodgy. Right. He's thinking God is going to use their overconfidence against them. Listen to the tactics. It parallels I perfectly. Israel hid some men around Gibeah. Okay, the first two times they stood in front of them. They hid some men around Gibeah, and on the third day, Israel attacked the army of Benjamin and took a position against Gibeah, as they had the other times. Again, the army of Benjamin went out against the people, lured away from the city. They began attacking and killing some of the people as the other times. They killed about 30 men of Israel in the countryside and on the roads, of which goes up to Bethel and the other to Gibeah. Okay, from 22,000 to 18,000 to 30 guys, and we're doing better. The army of Benjamin said they defeated us, they defeated just as before, but the army of Israel said, let's run off and draw them away from the city onto the roads. All the men of Israel left their places and took up the battle position Baal Tamar, while the other Israel men burst out of their hiding places and marched places at Mareh Givah. 10,000 men chosen out of Israel came over to attack Gibeah, and the combat was intense, but the army of Benjamin didn't know that they were about to be defeated. For Adonai routed Benjamin in Israel's presence. That day the army of Israel destroyed 25,100 men of Benjamin, of whom all carried swords. And the people of Benjamin realized they had been beaten. Draw them away from the city with the 700 oaks that don't miss hairs on your head when they're flinging stones. You live longer. Capture the city, you surround them. The men of Israel, trusting the ones they had put in place to ambush Benjamin, gave ground to the men of Benjamin. Then the men who had been lying down in wait rushed in on Gibeah, drew their swords and destroyed the city. The army of Israel and the ambushers had agreed that as a signal they would make a huge cloud of smoke rise from the city. It's a good signal, your city's on fire. At which time the men of Israel would turn back. When this happened, Benjamin began to attack. They killed about 30 of Israel's men and said, clearly we're defeating them again as in the first battle. But when the smoke signal began rising from the city, the men of Benjamin looked behind them and saw the whole city going up into the sky in smoke. Then as the men of Israel reversed direction, those of Benjamin were overcome with terror when they saw that disaster had come upon them. They turned their backs onto the men of Israel and made for the road to the desert. But the battle followed them, And those who came out of the city destroyed them from the rear. They surrounded the men of Benjamin, chased them and trampled them down across from Gibeah to the east. 18,000 men of Benjamin fell, all of them experienced soldiers. They turned and fled toward the desert to the rock of Rimmon, and 5,000 of them were killed on the roads. They followed them to Gilead and killed another 2,000. Thus the total number of Benjamin fell were 25,000 experienced sword-bearing soldiers. But 600 turned and fled to the desert, to the rock of Rimmon, and lived there for 4 months. Interesting. Why 4 months?
Sounds like a famous concubine as well.
So the concubine who was unfaithful, who ran back to seek refuge in her father's house. These guys who were unfaithful ran back and hid into the wilderness. The men of Israel turned back on the people of Benjamin, and they killed them with the sword, the entire city, the cattle, everything they found. Moreover, they set on fire all the cities they encountered. Okay, let's stop there for a second. Why did they burn their cities, kill their cattle, and clean out? Like Ai. They treated them like one of the Canaanite cities. Except it wasn't a Canaanite city. If you're going to act like Sodom and Gomorrah, we're going to treat you like Sodom and Gomorrah. But not spare anybody besides Lot and his family. No. So, they did not stop. The problem is, that territory was allotted to the tribe of Benjamin. It was their inheritance. So why would God allow them to be punished in their inheritance, even for a few?
Because they took sides with the people who did the evil.
They stood for evil. And if you are going to continue to do this, if you are going to stand up and take those sides, and you are supposed to be a treasured possession in this land where you're supposed to be reflecting me. Listen to me, guys. If you lose the point of your position, as in where God places you, if He's prepared a job, He's prepared a house, He's prepared a town, He's prepared whatever, and He puts you there, and He says, now you reflect me. If you lose sight of that, He's going to pick you up and He's going to move you away from it. That place has been prepared for His glory, for His work. He didn't prepare all of that. And think about this. Let's just think about this logically, just for a second, for a company. I know Shabbat, we don't want to think about work. When your company gets founded, 10 years, 20 years before you even realize they exist, before you get a job there, He's been sending customers there, He's been building it up to the point where they need someone, He's been grooming you for that position, He invests in all that time over 20 years to get you to in exactly that place, because He knows at that point the people are going to need your testimony. And then you go there and you say, I'm not going to open up my mouth, I'm just going to blend in like everybody else. What's the point of the investment? How many of you worried about how long it took to make your school and get the right teachers before you were put into that place? How many of you worried about what it took to get you and the people around you into the same building that you're working in? For what point? So that He can give you a job and make you comfortable. He can teach you. He can train you. Or you gave your life to me, right? So now I'm going to train you up and to get you into that position so that I can do what I need to do. Here we see inheritance lost. Here we see civil war. Here we see people acting worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. And it's in Israel. What is son of my, well, Benjamin is supposed to be son of my right hand. Isn't it interesting? That they were left-handed.
Yeah.
Why were there 700 left-handed, and why were the left-handed the
to have singers and men of war, mainly guys being stones. 700 was probably just a case of that was the perfect, it was part of God's plan to use them to be able to go out, but instead we find them fighting and choosing to use that stuff against them. In Chronicles it actually mentions that they were dual-handed,
Yeah.
so that they could fight left and right.
Mm.
But in this case it says they were left-handed, kind of assuming that the fact is they forgot the right hand, which is the one that got them there in the first place.
Mm.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right, we get this funny parallel. Remember the two towns that we were looking at? Before I finish off in the chapter. Where are we paralleling the hospitality here between the two? Which groups? Bethlehem in Judah and Gibeah in Benjamin. Fast forward a couple of generations. Do we have these two territories going at it again? All of a sudden we see Benjamin standing up against, justifying what he did and how they did it, and coming up against God and against God's anointing. They chose to go to war against their brother. Did he not do the same? Something to think about. Chapter 21. Let's get rid of this. We'll get rid of this chapter, shall we? My woman's wishes have left. The men of Israel had sworn in Mizpah that none of them would let his daughter marry a man from Benjamin. The people came to Bethel and stayed there before God till evening, crying out and weeping. They said, Adonai, why has this come about in Israel? Isn't it amazing? By the time we lift up our eyes and we look at the people around us, after you let them do whatever they want, when you create an amoral society because you refuse to open up your mouth,
Yeah.
and then you cry out to God and you say, how did we get here? Well, none of you told them otherwise. How many of you knew of a different way of life until someone showed you a different way of life? Think about it. Then we see a rash oath taken again. Funny. We should have learned by that. And here we're saying, okay, no one's going to give them. We're so cross at them, but we said at the same time. They said, Adonai, why is this come about in Israel? Why should there be today in Israel one tribe missing? The next day the people got up early, built an altar and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. The people of Israel asked, who among the tribes of Israel did not come up to assemble before Adonai? For they had made a great oath to put to death whoever didn't come up to Adonai in Mizpah. The people of Israel became sorry for Benjamin, their brother, and said, today one tribe has been cut off from Israel. How are we going to obtain wives for those who remain alive, since we've sworn by Adonai that we won't let our daughters marry them? So we made an oath that was not required. Now we're looking for loopholes to nullify our own oaths. We wanted to destroy them, but now we feel bad because we realize that's our brother. You know, what I find very interesting about this is you don't see of anyone from Benjamin coming up and going, you know what, guys, you were right. You know, we mucked up here big time. We deserve this. And it's the compassion from the other tribes that saved Benjamin. Then they asked who from the tribes of Israel not yet come to Mizpah, and they found that none had come from Yabesh Gilead to the camp where the assembly was. Since when the people were counted, none of the inhabitants of Yabesh Gilead were found there. So the gathering sent 12,000 warriors. Interesting number. Should be 1,000 from each tribe, yes? And yet, there's only 11 tribes assembled. Maybe it's a symbol that even though they were angry at Benjamin, they made up their numbers for them, which they're going to do. Then they ordered, go and put the people who live in Yabesh Gilead to death with the sword, including women and children, completely destroying every man and every woman who has been intimate with a man. Why did they do that? First of all, you've got to tell me where Yabesh Gilead is.
Well, they need wives for the Benjamin.
Okay, but why do they only kill the wives that have known the man?
Virgins.
Right, why is it important to have a virgin? Surely any lady will do when you've got to kind of build up a group of people.
To put forth pure seed.
Where's Yabesh Gilead? Fastest thing is first, who's got to move out?
It's beyond the Jordan, 6 kilometers from Pella, the mountain road to Gerasa. Start unknown, like maybe modern Wadi.
Wadi. Part of the territories of Israel or not?
Yes.
Part of?
Gad.
Okay. So on the other side,
Of the Jordan River.
so probably a group of people that have not been affected by this conflict, and they're going to bring them in, okay? But because they didn't stand up with their brethren, they're going to hold them accountable as well. So it's one town, okay? So they're going to bring them in. If they have not known a man, it kind of gives the illustration again to someone who has probably been unfaithful or not unfaithful physically, but unfaithful spiritually. So they've known someone else, they have an indication of they've bowed down to another god, so you want to bring them into a pure understanding. Among the inhabitants of Yabesh Gilead, they found 400 young virgins who have not yet known a man by lying with him, and they brought them to the camp at Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan. Then the whole gathering sent message proclaiming peace to the people of Benjamin who were at the rock of Rimmon. So Benjamin returned at that time, and the people of Israel gave them the woman they had kept alive of the woman of Yabesh Gilead. Okay, so after 4 months they say peace. We see the foreshadow when the father invites in the Levite. He says, come sit down and eat. Right? Because what does it mean to eat with somebody? Everything is okay between us. Not necessarily covenant, but we have no qualms. Everything is fine. We have sat down, we've sorted out the issues, and we've sat down and we've ate. Okay? So here he again reestablishes a covenant, and here Israel is sort of doing the same thing, bringing Benjamin back into the fold where they were now separated. Okay? But those weren't enough for them. The people were still sorry for Benjamin because Adonai had made a division among the tribes of Israel. The leaders of the assembly asked, what are we to do for those who still don't have wives? Inasmuch as all the women of Benjamin had been killed. They said there has to be a way to help the survivors preserve Benjamin's inheritance so that a tribe will not be eliminated from Israel. Yet we can't give them our daughters as wives, for the people of Israel had sworn, cursed be whoever gives a wife to Benjamin. Then they said, look, each year there's a festival in honor of Adonai in Shiloh, north of Bethel, on the east side of the road that goes up from Bethel to Shechem, in the south of Lebanon. They ordered the men of Benjamin, go hide in the vineyards. Here we go again. Who hid in vineyards or pranced around to vineyards? Samson, okay? Now, what jumped out of the vineyard? Lion. Interesting. And keep watch. What is lion? Let me finish my thought. What does a lion represent? Royalty. Look at what's coming. The next book is Samuel. Okay? If the girls of Shiloh come out to do their dances, then come out to the vineyards and each of you catch for himself a wife. From Shiloh girls and go on to the land of Benjamin. Speed dating at its finest. They'll do. When their fathers or their brothers come to complain to us, we will say to them. So when they try and assemble us to go out and go get them back, it says, give them a personal favor to us because we didn't take wives for each of them in battle. You didn't give them to them. That would have made you guilty of breaking an oath. Right, so if you give them your daughters, you're in trouble. But if they snatch your daughters, it's okay. That sounds Middle Eastern to me. You know? There's a loophole here. It's very strange. So the men of Benjamin did this. They took wives for themselves from the girls who were dancing, as many as they needed. They carried them off, went back to the land of their inheritance, rebuilt their cities and lived in them. The people of Israel then left that place. Each man returned to his tribe and family. Each man went out from there to the land he had inherited. And to finish off the book, at that time there was no king in Israel. A man simply did whatever he thought was right. They looked for a physical king, they walked away from God, they walked away from Torah, they walked away from understanding the inheritance and why they were there. They walked away from it all. It's a very interesting thing that they were more worried about Benjamin than they were about that. It's an interesting thing to me that they were concerned about preserving, but they weren't, well, preserving the physical lineage, but they weren't concerned about preserving the spiritual relationship. Guys, it happens quickly. You can go to Israel today, and you can see the world, and you won't even know that there was a God in Israel. And yet, sometimes in some places you will go sit in some places and you will see some of the most devout men and women you've ever seen in your life. Who don't go a few hours without leaving their work to go and sit and pray, sit at Father's feet and say, this is where I am. You can quickly assimilate yourself into the mold of what the world wants you to be, what other people want you to be, or you can ask God to mold you so that you can become what you were meant to be. Judges starts off strong. And slowly we get stuck in our sin cycle. Remember our sin cycle? Okay? There was sin, there should have been teshuvah. We still don't read of Benjamin making teshuvah.
Yeah.
What's the consequence? Lovely. We nearly lose the entire tribe. Remember, Benjamin, the name itself, son of my right hand, in itself, if you nullify Benjamin, you nullify a character of God. You nullify a foreshadow of Messiah. And amazing as well, to even look at them, and even in their brokenness, even without the teshuvah, even with it all, Israel still has forgiveness. They're still sitting there and they're still trying to think of ways of how they can build up this community, this group. They're crying and they're weeping. Benjamin are hiding. They're crying and they're weeping at the Mishkan, at the tabernacle, and they're sitting there asking God, how can this be? In many cases, we sit down and we look at people living their lives and their brokenness and all the rest of it, and all we say is, yeah, you just wait. Judgment is coming. Let me help you. That's not your job. That's gross. And I can guarantee you, as much as it infuriates him, he's weeping. He doesn't want to see one lost. And I'm not just talking about the ones who are sitting there, sort of half living or not living. He is the Father of all creation. He doesn't want to see one lost. But he also understands that it's a relationship. You either walk with him or you don't.
And a choice.
So there's a choice every day. So we see our cycle running to decline, and from complete decline led us into complete depravity. Where we act like Sodom and Gomorrah and we forgot that we're the sons of Abraham. What does it mean to be a son of Abraham? Or a daughter of Abraham? Okay?
One of the things that the scripts of faith.
To have faith like Abraham. To have a relationship like with God like Abraham. You can't call yourself family of Abraham and you act like the world. Then you're the son of the world. Right? To be a son of Israel. To be a disciple in Yeshua. What does that mean? That means you walk like them. You act like them. Okay? Any last thoughts or anything like that when it comes to Judges? No, happy story to end off. Lovely. Full of highs and lows and beatings.
It just seems that the perversity has come again, around again. The Sodom and Gomorrah thing is around again.
People are people. And before you stand here, shh. Everybody, smile. No. I've got you until 3 o'clock. Alright, what I want to do next, if you guys are okay with it, I'm gonna take a break from this timeline. I want to take you back into some epistles. I'm toying with the idea, maybe we can tackle Ephesians. I don't think I've done Ephesians with you guys yet. Some of you guys haven't done it. I know we've done Romans and those sort of things, but we can do Ephesians and we can do John and we can do Peter and we can get into a couple of those epistles. It's going to be a bit of a jump around if we do, because obviously he's in many cases quoting Torah or quoting Yeshua who's quoting Torah. So it'll push you a little bit into the words of Messiah or to the thinking of the disciples about what Yeshua accomplished, and also push you into some of the prophets. And sometimes again just alluding to stuff that came out of Torah. Okay? So they're nice shortish books, something like Ephesians is 6 chapters long. We could probably frame it fairly quickly. The problem with that is if you miss, you're going to be confused. So if we do a couple of weeks, okay, with the higher sword and things like that, as we're unpacking that stuff, maybe some of the stuff we're doing in the epistles will make more sense. You guys alright with that? Alright. So it'll take a little bit more work, but there's a mess of information in each one. Okay? Lots of framework, lots of history, lots of culture, lots of things happening that they expected you to understand, and we're going to try and frame that into their culture and their language so that you'll get all the imagery that you need. Okay? Right. Any questions, any thoughts? No, you're free. Prayer time is happy time.
say thank you, Father, for your kindness to us, Father, and for your love. Father, we want to say thank you, Father, for the breath that we have, that you've given to us, Father, for life in our own bodies, Father. Father, I thank you for the life that is in this congregation. Father, I thank you for each member in the congregation, Father. Father, I pray for this congregation, Father. I pray that we would be people that would be after your heart. Father, that would not be people that would be like Benjamin at that particular time, Father. But Father, as people would just follow after you, Father, with all our hearts, with all our minds. As we see the life of Yeshua, Father, and how he lived, may we emulate our Rabbi. Father, help us, Father, to do what he did, to say what he did, to live like he did, Father, to give up our lives for Yeshua, for you, Father. I thank you, Abba, for everything that you've done. You are amazing. Father, and there is no one that can compare with you. We love you and we thank you, Father. Father, we pray, Father, as we would place our eyes upon you, as we would keep our eyes fixed, may your name be exalted, Abba. As we would go out into the world, that we would bring you glory and not shame, that we would live the way that you want us to live. So that the dying world that is around us would follow, Father, and ask and pursue after you. Father, I pray for those that are not well, Father, and that are not here. Whatever reason, Father, I pray right now that you would just bring healing to them. Father, if it's spiritual healing, I ask that you would spiritually heal them, Father. Help us to be your hands. Help us to be your feet. Father, I pray as well for those that are sick physically, that you would touch their bodies, Father. That you would just be with them, presence yourself. Father, thank you. Bless your name. Give you praise, Lord, and honor. Pray that you would just take us now safely. Father, be with us. In the name of Yeshua Mashiach, we pray. Amen.
Remember your kids are probably still busy, so you've got half an hour to keep yourself entertained.